Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to another amazing position group in the 2023 NFL Draft. Welcome to this week's episode of Objectively Wrong, presented by the Next Man Up. As always, I'm John. That's 15. We got cornerbacks, bitches. And my God, are there a lot of them.
Oh, I fell in love, John.
There are so freaking many corners. This Ebteen did the majority of the film on this position. We've been trading off a little bit after I had to heavy lift the O-line. And I apologize for nothing. Draft Skoronski. But Ebteen made a very bold statement the other night in our group chat. John, I think this is the best cornerback class I've ever scouted. Now, Ebteen.
Yeah.
Since that time,
Yeah.
that was in the middle of your scouting.
Yeah.
You finished the scouting since then.
Mm-hmm.
Does that claim hold?
Here's a fact for you.
Go for it. I like facts. Big on facts.
I have around 16 corners graded with starting traits.
I'm going to take that as a yes. Now, I'm excited because corners are a premium position, but wouldn't you believe they're also the highest bust rate of any position group.
No. Do you want to go through all the corners I've drafted?
No, I don't.
DJ Hayden.
And he might have been the best one. He might have been the best one. I am very intrigued by this year's corner class, particularly because there's a number of corners expected in the first 20 picks, anywhere from 3 to 5. Take one. But I'm intrigued in particular because the Eagles have no obvious corner need. We've got 2 guys on the outside. We've got an elite slot corner. We're good. So what's great about this class is if 2 corners go in the top 10, I know I probably didn't take one. And mix that with all the quarterbacks that are going, the Eagles are going to have a blue chip prospect no matter what, sitting there at 10.
You know what's also great, though, John?
What?
How many years left do you really think you have Darius Slay?
2 minimum.
There's a couple developmental guys with starting traits.
but not at number 10. I don't
No, I'm talking about in the 3rd round.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's 3rd round guys that are 2s other years in this year's class. This is sick. Now, and Tina and I'm going to make sure I clarify this at the top.
Okay.
And we'll discuss this when we get to the list.
Okay.
And Teen has a top 5.
It's actually
He
top
does.
7.
He actually has a top 7. But a team does have a top 5. And in the top 5, I want to make sure I'm very clear on something before we even begin the breakdown. This is our first legitimate disagreement of draft season. The tight end disagreement was paper thin, so I don't really count that because I honestly think, depending on the second, I could have convinced you of Kincaid and you could have convinced me of Mayer. There's no convincing either of us on this. And it almost feels out of character for the way I've analyzed drafts as long as we've known each other. Because if a team knows I'm a big fan of evaluating red flags. And if there's a red flag, I generally will knock them automatically. I can't do it with a particular prospect in this year's draft on a quarterback position. We'll talk about that as we get there.
Okay.
As far as news, no, there isn't any.
You want to talk about red flags?
I'll throw
Oh, you got one?
News.
Okay.
We just saw one piece of news. And this will come back up again when we talk about defensive linemen. Georgia, defensive tackle, Jalen Carter. A lot of people have him as very high pick, top 10, top 5, best DT in the draft, yada, yada, yada. Stay tuned for our ranking. You might be surprised. You probably won't be. But he is expected to attend the NFL draft in person. That should tell you that potentially the character flags, the off-field things may be clear. He might be clear there, which would be great. for him. That'd be great. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I didn't have any other news.
Oh, okay. I didn't have it either. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Right now, the only news is the draft. Right
Yeah,
now, the
to be
only
honest,
news-
though, I've kind of spent days locked in a room watching corners.
Oh, Epteen has been dealing with his own little darkness retreat of just corners. We gotta like shelve that joke though. This is the last week we can do the Aaron Rodgers darkness.
We got quarterbacks coming up eventually.
Yeah, but QB, yeah, he's not a quarterback anymore.
Will
He's a
Levis
sideshow.
looks like he does darkness retreat.
No, actually, I do have news on Will Levis.
Oh, the banana.
The banana. What the fuck was that? Why
That
did you just
was-
eat the banana?
Okay, you want to know why he did that though?
Because of a tweet.
No, he did that specifically so when you look up Will Levis, you no longer see is scared of milk, but eats banana like a psychopath.
Like psychopath. He's giving me severe Zach Wilson vibes of like better personality than player. Like more memeable than he is a player. Actually, you know what? He's like Baker-esque at this point. Like, this is stupid.
He's Bo Callahan. Let's not pretend he's not Bo Callahan.
I would like to know how many people went to Will Levis' birthday party. I'd like to know the answer to that question. Anyway,
Let's start.
let's get to some corners.
Frankly, we're going to talk about 23 corners tonight, guys.
In some capacity, yes. And they were all watched.
As he scrolls down the page.
And by the way, I also want to make sure we clarify one more thing, and then we'll begin. We initially said that we were going to bunch defensive backs together, safeties and corners. There are way too many fucking corners. And so instead, we're going to put safeties in the linebackers episode. They're going to come together because for our linebackers episode, we are not putting edge rushers with linebackers. We're putting them with defensive line. There's a D-line episode, a cornerbacks episode, and now a safety linebacker episode. It's just the way it worked out. There's too much blue chip talent at corner, and we have to talk about a bunch of it. There was going to be a 3-hour episode. Otherwise, we're just not doing that. So go ahead. Let's get to this ranking. Let's get to this list.
Now, let's start off with every projection for where they're going to be drafted is from ESPN, unless I say otherwise.
Yes.
Why do I have to say this? Well, because Bleacher Report's on crack.
Are you going to start with? You're going to start with 21? I just saw your analysis for that, and I'm like, oh.
Let's start with my lowest ranked corner the entire draft. So LSU has a corner with the name Jarek Bernard Converse. Hell of a name.
Dope name.
He's 6'1", 197. ESPN ranks him as a 7th round pick. Bleacher Report ranks him as a 4th round pick. Now, have you heard of this guy, John? Because he wore 24 for LSU.
Barely.
Yeah. There's a reason for that. He sucks. He sucks so much. He will never do an interview for us. Jarek Bernard Converse is one of the worst corners I have ever scouted.
I do love the note here because I also, when I was going through the cheat sheets, I did notice that it was numbered down because I've seen him play. I've watched some of the tape. I did see that he was listed at a 4.4, running a 4.440.
Yeah,
that's
a
pro day. It's got to be bullshit.
Yeah.
It can't be true. If it is true, man, that dude can't play with pads on.
I looked it up, right? Because I was like, that can't be true. And there was an interview, and like the interview was like, "Hey, we have you down as a 4.34." And I literally walked out the room.
4.34?
Yeah. And then I checked everywhere else, and the pro day number was reported as 4.40. Yeah, no, dude.
It's kind of slow. I don't know.
No, this guy runs maybe a 4.54.
You smell that? Smells like some bullshit.
Oh, I'll get to the bullshit. But yeah, this guy doesn't move the needle. I wouldn't draft him. And yeah, let's move on because there's too many people to talk about. What else? Let's talk about Alabama. Another ex-LSU corner.
Always love Alabama players.
Eli Ricks is a transfer from LSU. He's 6'2", 188.
Nice.
Bleacher
little skinny from 6'2".
Oh yeah. Bleacher Report had him as a 3rd-round pick. I mean, it's not as bad as Jarek, but it's pretty bad. The guy is basically all size. I mean, 6'2" with a wingspan, I think it was like 32. Like, it's good. But he doesn't play football. Like, he was locked behind LSU, then he was locked behind Alabama. And
He was at LSU, couldn't get playing time,
so he
transferred, and still couldn't get playing time.
I mean, I think he started the entire year this year, but I mean, look at Alabama this year.
Not the year to be starting for Alabama.
Yeah.
Especially on defense.
And you have a press corner, and maybe you can develop from there. But when, like, best case scenarios, you're developing a guy into maybe a CB4, why do I really care?
You need a CB4.
Sure.
I can't pretend like it doesn't matter. But considering the way we're going to be applauding some of the top 5 in this episode.
Oh, top 5, top 16.
Let's move on to the next guy.
All right, let's talk about Maryland. We will talk about Maryland again.
Yeah, they're going to come up again.
Jacorian Bennett is 5'11" and 188.
This is a sleeper I liked, by the way. Before we even looked at the tape, I actually liked this player.
Bleacher Report has him a 3rd-round pick. I don't. It was a 5th-round pick, so not that far off. He's a CB3, but his 50-50 is excellent. Like, holy crap, it's excellent. 27 pass balls.
This is Quentin Johnston's worst nightmare. Jacorian Bennett.
I watched so much Quentin Johnston tape just to watch the corner. I also watched a lot of JSN tape. Yeah, our corners played a lot of the wide receivers. Wide receivers aren't that good this year. I'm just going to say that.
You know what's funny, Ebteen? I think that's actually pretty common that the corners in the draft class will play against the wide receivers in the same draft class.
You would say that.
You would say that.
I honestly think it's because, like, almost half this class are seniors.
Well, a lot of this class is seniors, and I think a lot of the guys on this list were actually their team's respective CB1s.
Yeah.
With Bennett is not, but still got play time against some of them, I guess.
So Bennett is one of those guys where you look at his 40 time and you think it's a lie because his 40 time is a 4.3. 4.3.
Yeah.
That guy does not run 4.3. Doesn't play it at all. He's pretty average at everything. The biggest issue with him is penalties. And that happens a couple of times with these corners that you wouldn't consider like tier 1 corners. They have a lot of pass blocks, but they also have a lot of penalties. Bennett 13 times over the past 2 seasons. I really see this guy as the CB that comes in during passing downs, and he'll probably get a couple of quality stops because, again, that 50-50 ball, like the reason you liked him so much.
It's the 27 PBs. It's the 27 pass breakups in the last 2 seasons.
He's so good at it.
You don't cook him. He kind of sticks to you, and that ball is not getting through usually on the one-on-ones. It's efficient. That's efficient football.
Let's talk about the last guy that we're bringing up because of Bleacher Report.
Go ahead.
Another LSU guy.
Oh, good.
Mekhi Garner. He's 6'2", 212 pounds.
That's more like it.
Yeah. He's best at press man, best at challenging catches, but he has no interceptions in the last 2 years. And he really felt more like a linebacker that can cover.
It's like Mark Barron. Remember Mark
Yeah,
Barron?
I do. Like, what do we call that? Money backer, right?
No, kind of. Yeah, he kind of was a money backer. He ended up going from safety to linebacker and back and forth for like 6 years.
This guy will do that too.
You know who's also, that the modern Mark Barron is like Kaiser White.
Yeah.
Came into the league as a safety. Now he's a linebacker.
Now, Bleacher Report had him graded as a 3rd round. ESPN a 6th round. I have him graded as a mid 5.
Yeah, BR, what are you doing?
I don't know.
They must hate the rest of the class then. I got to be honest with you because, yes, this corner class is sick, but you don't got to force it. What they're forcing picks into the 3rd. Just watch, by the way, one of these guys is going in the 3rd or 4th. It's going to happen.
100%. And, like, it's a weak linebacker class. So I could see Mekhi Garner. It's also a very weak safety class. And a bunch of times you'll see I mentioned this guy can play safety. You can convert him. Garner's one of those guys.
I love it when you sell our next episode as being two classes that suck. I love it when you do that. I love it when you sell I love it when you just
you literally started our running back episode with running backs don't matter. Moving on.
I know. I started that. By the way, do not draft Bijan Robinson, Howie. For the love of God, don't do it. Please. Please.
Now to wrap up the rest of like the day.
Draft Scarant. No, you don't need a draft.
To wrap up the rest of the day 3 guys. I have one guy who I have completely off the board. And he's an Ohio State corner, Cameron Brown, 6 foot 199. He's projected to be a 4th round pick. I have him projected to be undrafted.
Be injured again.
Yeah. Here's the problem with Cameron Brown. Let me list you his injuries. Season-ending leg injury. I think it was freshman year. Achilles injury.
Bummer.
I think that was his junior year.
Oh.
And then 2 knee injuries where he missed, I think, 7 games this past year. I think it was.
Question.
Yeah.
Are they all in the same leg?
I didn't, I just figured they're both shot.
I mean, the reality of that is that's kind of not wrong because if they're all in one leg, the other leg's now working overtime. And if they're interlocking legs, they're both in bad shape.
Now, what is he? He's a decent press man corner whose greatest weakness is speed, and he continues to have leg injuries. You see my problem with the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really sorry your career isn't going to go well if you ask me.
Who was that corner out of Ohio State a few years back? Baltimore took a shot on him.
The first rounder that stayed an extra year.
Fell to the 7th, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Forget. That should tell you that he made the wrong choice not coming out, though.
I think his problem was, I remember the problem, right? If he came out, he was a nickel corner with first-round talent.
Right.
Which, by the way, we will talk about a guy that is a nickel corner that's first-round talent.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, I'm going to play outside. I'm going to make that money.
Right.
He sucked outside.
He sucked at it. He was terrible. I'm going to make that money. You do it. And now he made done.
So, okay. So we talked about the day 3 guys. Do you want to go to the top now? Or do you want to keep moving up the draft? Which, by the way, if I didn't mention a corner at this point, he's a day 3 guy, guys.
You know what? Let's keep moving up the board until we get to the top 5.
Okay. So let's talk about Louisville.
Louisville.
We're going to talk.
Wait, did you want to talk about this dude at 20 or is he later?
No, he's better.
Okay. I did not.
This is ordered. This is not ordered. Yeah.
Okay. Full disclosure to the people listening. I did not watch number 20.
Trail Clark from Louisville is one of those corners that has the measurables, right? He's projected.
What measurables? The wingspan of a toddler?
Yes. He's measured to be 5'10" and 181, which isn't bad.
Like, it's not good either, though.
But the problem is his wingspan is 29 and 5/8. The measurable, John.
So is that arm length?
I think it's straight up just like
that can't be because that's at least it's usually your height.
Is it? How do they measure that in the combine?
What?
How do they measure wingspan in the combine?
It's measured tip to tip.
Yeah, that's what I said, right? This way.
It's not 29 inches tip to tip. That you got that's arm. That's probably arm length.
Okay.
Jesus God. That is the man's wingspan. He has 1 foot long arm. Both arms are a foot long.
He played like it. We have a nickel corner here. We have 2 more nickel corners that are significantly more impressive than this guy. He's a good tackler. He has great bursts. But those arms, man, those arms. He has a lot of like missed opportunities because he could go for a pick or he could get a pass block, but he can't reach it. And that's his biggest weakness. Besides that, average nickel corner, a lot of passion, a lot of hustle. Like, this is a guy that will stick to a roster. He just
It's so I can't stand it when it's like, oh, he's short, but he really works hard. Like, okay.
okay, but if you watch the tape, this guy actually does really
No,
well.
I know he does. He's a workhorse. It's such a slot guy. You know.
Anyway,
Teen's a height supremacist.
I'm a height supremacist. One of my favorite players is the nickel corner in this draft.
If any of y'all watch the league, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. That's on my list.
Oh, it's so good. As in, it's really, really stupid, but like it's fun. It's a good time. Do you know who John LaJoy is?
No, I'm sure I know his face.
Do you remember the song? I can't believe I'm about to say this on the internet. Do you remember the song "Show Me Your Genitals"?
I do not know the song.
You never seen that?
I don't think so.
Yeah. It's crappy, stupid ass like parody song. He wrote 2 of them.
Oh
And-
yeah, I've seen this guy's face.
Yeah, he plays a character named Taco in
Yeah.
that show. It is the entire show is completely unhinged.
Wow, Nick Kroll did this show.
Nick Kroll did that show, yeah.
Oh, of course, Jason Mantzoukas did this. I love Jason.
Yes, he did. He's good in it too.
Okay, let's move on.
He's chaotic in that thing.
Let's move
I
on.
think that's Rafi. I think he plays Rafi.
Yeah, that's the name said.
Oh God.
Let's move on to Syracuse. Garrett Williams, 5'10", 192, projected to be an early 4th round pick. This guy is gonna stick. He's gonna stick. Problem is he had an ACL in October. He passed a check on the combine, but you will see him fall because of it.
Of course. I mean, an October ACL is better than a December ACL.
Oh, it's a hell of a lot.
It's a hell of a lot better.
He's aggressive with 50-50 balls. Sometimes it really doesn't work out for him.
He's whipped.
But I think you got a solid CB3 or a backup for one of your outside guys. Like these are the people that we're talking about now, because after that we're hitting the high point, guys.
We're hitting some severe talent.
Next, we're going to talk about Stanford. Now, I want to talk a lot about this guy. Q Blue Kelly has NFL bloodline.
Bitchin' name, by the way.
Yeah. I think his one of his family members played for Indy, or I could be wrong. I'm just gonna check that really quickly.
Do it.
Lot of hype for this guy because Stanford corner, Pac-12, one of the better corners in the Pac-12. His father,
hell of a year to say that, by the way.
His father played for the Steelers.
There you go.
I hated this guy's tape. So much.
Okay. I was not ready for that reaction.
Have you seen anything just watching college football this year with Kelly?
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of Kia. He didn't blow me out of the water. I mean,
that's my problem.
He appeared to be perfectly serviceable.
Yeah, he's very serviceable.
Yeah, his ceiling is middling. That's what I view him as.
Yeah,
he's a capable corner.
Now here's the problem, right? You see, I watched this guy 15th, and then everything before that, we're hitting great people. This is the first, I watched 14 players before I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Poor guy. I don't think his tape's bad. I just think it's not a revelation.
He's best at press. He has pretty good footwork. He's painfully slow. He's so slow. And it's the biggest, it's so sad, Sean.
His instinct reliance was kind of a calling card for him.
There's no burst at all.
It wasn't much.
There's no physicality. I was so confused because, again, he's projected to be a 3rd round pick. I went and searched out his Senior Bowl tape. His practices, they were better.
Good.
They were better. The best thing I can say about this guy is 50-50 balls. He's stone cold. It's nothing new for him. He handles them. I actually think like that will probably be his best part of his career.
Yeah, I'm gonna translate that. He means Stone Cold as in the guy's not scared
Yeah.
of the situation. Yeah, Stone Cold can
Yeah,
also mean
I'm not talking about
sucks at it. So I mean, want to make sure we clarify.
I get that because I've been shitting on him this
You've
entire.
been dunking on this motherfucker, like golly. And this Kelly kid, man, he sucks. He's also Stone Cold at 50-50. What?
Yeah, no one's worse than Jarek Bernard Converse.
That's yeah.
But yeah, I have him graded out as
Mid four.
mid 4 to 5. Get a solid backup here.
Yeah. I think a day 2 pick on him's too early.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of there wasn't just BR. There was a few spots where I saw him as a late 3. I was just like, nah, you can do more with a 3.
And Stanford kids are getting hyped this year. Like that Michael Wilson wide receiver.
Yeah.
Did not get that either.
No, that I didn't understand whatsoever.
Yeah. All right, let's go to South Carolina.
Let's do it.
Because in South Carolina, there's a 6'2", 198 corner by the name of Darius Rush.
I'll admit I know nothing about him.
You want to know why? He used to play wide receiver.
Now I'm glad I know something about him.
He's been a corner for 2 years, and he's a work in progress, and it shows. But there is a lot of potential here, John. And it's weird because his technique's not there, obviously. He's been playing the position for a very low time.
Very complicated position to learn.
He has great ball skills, of course, because
I'm shocked.
A wide receiver.
I'm shocked.
But the part that's probably the best part is how good he is at sticking on the wide receiver's pocket. It's almost like he's been running those routes before.
Almost like
Yeah. His worst attribute is those routes that branch off, or like if they stop and go, or if like you come back for a hook.
They're called stop and go routes.
I know, that's why I said. Or like if there's like a which
one of us do you think played?
There's a break here, and then another break, and another break, all that like crap, right? That crap that you see Hunter Renfrow sometimes do, and
the Hunter Renfrow special. The Hunter Renfrow, I don't know, route.
the Hunter Renfrow is like, damn, he's still there. Better make another cut.
The I don't know route. The I don't know. I had a coach that said the I don't know route.
Anyways, he gets completely lost. like it's basically a deer in the headlights. So there's problems here. But if you get a good coaching staff, and you don't have to spend
that won't be the first time you hear that tonight.
Oh yeah. You don't have to spend like a 3rd round pick on this guy. There will be a lot better corners in the 3rd round to take. You stash him, and he might develop into something. And if he does, he'll be a hell lot better than every corner we've talked about so far.
Why not?
So that's Darius Rush.
Darius.
Now let's talk about the people that matter.
Yeah, Rush's a big dog too. 6'2", 200.
Oh yeah. Pretty good. Well, yeah, he used to play wide receiver.
Seeing it more and more these days, I just saw the height of somebody else.
Oh yeah,
My goodness,
short guys. All right,
let's do it.
Let's talk about Utah's corner, Clark Phillips III.
I like this kid.
I did too. He's 5'9", 184. He's projected to be a mid 3. I think I should mention that at this point, almost every single corner here, for some reason, is a ball hawk.
Yeah. No, the instincts at corner in the top half of the class, sick. Absolutely sick. They're all students of the damn game. It's sick. I'm like taking the role of Stephen A. Smith. It's sick. These guys are sick. I'm starting yelling random shit.
If you say Clark
Phillips, he's a great friend.
I'm going to say Clark Phillips. What's the first thing that comes to your head, John?
If y'all haven't seen Creed 3, watch it.
It's good.
You'll know why I'm mentioning it right now.
Creed 3 was good.
There's a Stephen A. Smith jump scare in the movie.
I remember we were watching that movie, And he just shows up and we both look at each other.
We look at this 11. What the fuck?
Could you imagine if like it was Stephen A. Smith and then they cut to like the next one and it's like Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless?
Funniest shit I've ever seen. It was one of the funniest goddamn things I've ever seen. Suddenly, boom, when you least expect it, here he is. When the world needed him most, he was there. Anyway, Clark Phillips.
What's the first thing that comes to your head when I say Clark Phillips?
Kind of short.
Okay, let's not do a negative.
Ball tracking. Ball tracking.
This guy is a playmaker.
Yeah, he is.
Apparently he watches a lot of tape. And
It shows.
It shows that.
It shows. The guy knows the routes before they're even run.
His play recognition skill is
Sick.
incredible.
I wouldn't be shocked if he was the quote unquote smartest corner in this league, in this class.
Yeah, I would not be shocked.
Genius. Literal football IQ genius.
Yeah. And it's a nickel corner. He's the second best nickel corner in this
Which,
draft.
by the way, that's not uncommon where a nickel corner is like a sick play recognizer.
Right? Because they have to know like a lot more.
Again, I'm a little biased, but Avonte Maddox's football IQ is stellar. It really is. It was incredible at Pitt, but it's better in Philly.
We're gonna talk about Avonte Maddox again later.
Oh, if there's a corner in this class that you can comp to Avonte Maddox, take him.
I did.
Yeah. Maddox is a sick player. Big Maddox truther over here.
Clark Phillips in the third is a steal. I'm just gonna say it. Hell of a player, hell of a playmaker. You should draft him. Nickel corners matter.
They do. No, nickel corners matter so much more than running backs. They matter so much. I gotta stop doing that.
What? More than running backs?
More than running backs. Long snappers matter.
Well, let's
More
talk
than
about
running
running backs. Okay.
No, let's not.
Let's talk about it because I have LaDainian Tomlinson's nephew up next.
Big fan.
I hope it's his nephew. I think I remember it being his nephew.
Well, you spelled it Tomlinson.
Whatever. Charger, who the fuck cares? Travius Hodges Tomlinson is 5'8". Tomlinson is 5'8", 178. He's projected to be a mid-third round pick. I have him as an early second round pick talent-wise. I have some size concerns.
Wait, you spelled it the same way twice. I'm beginning to wonder whether or not he's even related.
Okay. I remember reading that he was related.
It is Tomlinson.
Okay. Well, you just think I saw that and I was like, oh, it must be related.
Right. I mean, it's a Tomlinson that went to TCU. So yeah, I think he is a nephew of LaDainian, yes.
Okay.
Who also,
by the way, plenty of NFL bloodlines in this draft.
Good, by the way.
Yeah.
And we ain't done yet. The best is yet to come.
So what's the worst thing about this guy? Well, he's been penalized 14 times in 20.
That is certainly the worst thing about it.
What's the best thing? Well, speed is genetic.
Yeah.
It's sick, John.
He's a burner.
Sick.
He's a burner.
And you might think size would be an issue, but no. When it's the run game, no. Great run defender.
I'm going to counter that.
Okay.
In the NFL, at 5'8",
oh yeah, might be a problem.
Covering the run could prove problematic. I will tell you, Maddox in particular, as an example, not a big guy, good in run support. Not elite, but good. Very good at run support. So it's not a death now.
This guy has some of the most sick bursts I've seen in this class. And at the catch point, he's freaky. He has 18 pass blocks this year alone.
Pass breakers.
Whatever. He's 41 in his career.
Yeah, so that's a stupid number. That's an actually stupid number. That's 10.3 a season.
Yeah.
10.25 a year. That's absurd. To be breaking the ball up 10 times a year on average over 4. That's actually bananas. There's NFL corners that can't do that.
I was watching his tape, and when the route goes inside, middle of the field, the typical route you see to tight ends, no, like he'll be trailing, and then the ball's thrown, and it's like a trigger, and it just instantly bursts through. Honestly, he might get more interceptions in the NFL.
He could.
I love his playing speed. He's a quality coverage player. Excuse me. The only worry is size a little bit, but this guy's going to have a role on the team no matter what.
There's a place to put him. I mean, listen, correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's going to start in the slot. And I don't think he's moving. He's not going to be outside.
Yeah.
He's not going to be outside. But the scary thing about putting him in the slot is tight ends. That's concerning.
Mm-hmm.
AFC West, don't draft him. Kelsey will eat this kid's lunch. Don't draft him.
There's a couple of guys I watched. I'm like, damn, Kelsey would kill this kid.
No, I understand that. But when you look at a guy that's kind of what you have to look at when you look at the slot corner, right? You have to think about what tight end is going to destroy this person. And Kelsey would certainly destroy that particular one.
Now here's a guy, John.
Now here's a guy. Yeah, I love when we re-enter from like when we have to edit, and you're just like, you hear that?
No.
Oh, okay, thankfully. Now here's a guy. Go ahead.
Here's the most third round corner I've ever goddamn seen.
Oh, is this the Last Chance U, kid?
Yeah. Last Chance U used to be a great show.
I saw that season.
Rejon Wright. Hopefully I pronounced her name right. Oregon State. He's 6'2", 193, projected to go mid-3. Yeah, he's a third round player.
Pac-12 corners eating this year.
Oh, yeah. It's a good year for Pac-12.
Pac-12's looking real sexy.
Wright is a very solid, dependable CB. CB2, CB3. We'll see where it goes, but that's where he's at. He doesn't really splash, doesn't do any flash plays, but who cares? Consistent, solid. It's really all I'm asking for. I think he has good enough speed. I think he's fine at run supporting coverage, and he's loves to be aggressive at 50-50 balls in the NFL. Probably give him some safety help for that, because
this is the kind of third round pick that if you told me 3 years from now he's like a starter somewhere, like a capable CB2 somewhere, I wouldn't be shocked.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't surprise me. If you told me he was a CB1, good for him, I'd be stunned. Yeah. I'd be stunned. I'd be actually stunned. But this is a dependable, stable CB2 if he achieves his ceiling.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Iowa. Riley Moss is 6'1", 193, and he's a 4-year starter. At Iowa, he's played over 2.6 thousand snaps. Has experience.
2,600 snaps, a lot of snaps.
And he missed 7 games in his career.
How many fucking games did he play?
I don't know.
Jesus.
He also plays a kick returner. There's some special teams like you can pull on early on in his career. This guy feels like a Steeler. It's just watching.
They could use somebody in the back end. They could use 3 somebodies in the back end.
Remember when I said like everyone's a ball hawk now?
Yeah.
Riley Moss is a ball hawk.
He's a ball hawk. I saw that tape. The kid's a ball. He might be a top 5 ball hawk.
Oh, there's another one that's even more of a ball hawk.
Yeah, no, he's a bona fide hawk.
There are 2 guys in this draft, one of them being Riley Moss, who I swear to God, the quarterbacks were throwing at them.
Yeah.
There's some rumors that he might switch to safety. I get it. I could see it.
The hawking goes away, though. Like, you lose that skill once you move inside.
This guy is a zone corner through and through, and he's good at it. You can stick him there, and I think he'd be fine. You can move him to safety. I think you can accentuate all the stuff that makes him good as a zone corner in safety. I like the kid. I think he has an NFL career that's going to last a long time, and he's going to have a role no matter how small it is. He'll be there. He'll stick for a while.
Beautiful.
Let's go to Miami.
With Tyreek Stevenson?
Another special team kid.
Punt returner.
Stevenson is a little limited, as in don't put him in zone. Oh my God, don't put him in zone.
Don't put him in zone. You want to notice though, there's a lot of press in this class.
I love
a lot
that
of press.
I prefer press. Don't put the kid in zone. Oh my God, don't put the kid in zone. The kid is rooted. It's like if the turf monster, instead of tripping you up, literally grab a hold of the guy and was just cuddling him. It's like, no, don't worry. Don't worry.
Yes, there's one thing we all know, it's that the turf monster likes to cuddle. I'm also realizing how unkempt my beard looks right now.
Oh,
Because I'm still unpacking the house and I have not found my razor yet.
So don't put him in zone. You cannot. Well, you know what you should put him on? Put him on press man because he's pretty good.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, he's physical. If he gets his hands on you, he's excellent. He has speed. He has recovery speed, which isn't common sometimes. And if you get a good coach, you put him in a scheme that works for him. There are CB1 traits here. Isn't that crazy?
Another one?
We have
another one.
We have 9 more corners to talk about.
Yeah, no, this is a fucking ridiculous CB class. You thought that tight ends were sick. I honestly, I'll be honest, I think I like the tight ends more than this corner class just because I think tight ends are fun.
Mm.
But this corner class at the top, when we get to the top, there's gonna be some gushing.
Let's compare him. Oh, by the way, he's projected to be an early 3rd round pick. I have him as a late 2.
Yeah.
And he's 6 foot 198.
Early 3 is when you're starting to get into the quote unquote good value area of Tyreek Stevenson. Anything outside of pick like 75 is a steal.
Remember Darius Rushdown from South Carolina?
I do remember him from 5 minutes.
The other guy was better.
Actually, Cam Smith. Yeah, this is yes, he is better.
6'1", 180.
I was trying to be funny, but I'm like, no, this is fucking Cam Smith. He is better. He's
Cam
way
Smith
better.
Can see the future.
Yeah, he can. Yeah.
Cam Smith is sick.
his instincts are actually like the second best in this draft, in my opinion. Second best instincts in the draft, the corner.
He plays off man the entire time, basically. But that just means he gets to look at the field more, and then he can read your mind and he will take the ball. Cam Smith is sick.
This is the Pegasus. This is Pegasus of this draft. That's a nice little Yu-Gi-Oh joke for you nerds out there.
This guy has eyes on the back of his head because he can look at the quarterback and read the wide receiver at the same time.
He can see your cards.
Oh, yeah. He can see your cards. If you have an errant throw, Cam Smith has an interception.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be very careful. You have to be careful throwing over to Smith Island.
What's the problem? Why is he not a first-round pick?
He's not that fast.
His 40's a 4.43.
And I didn't even need to see the 40 to know it.
His 40's a 4.43. It's not. It doesn't show on tape.
It's why he has to play off man.
Yeah.
And listen, it works for him. But a crossing route could be the death of this man. Crossing routes with a Tyreek Hill could be absolutely lethal. It would be fatal to this kid's career, which is a damn shame. Because
CB2.
CB2. The problem is that fatality is something beyond his control.
Mm-hmm.
He can't control how fast he is. He is how fast he is. He's how fast he is.
So we just thought
Tyreek Hill's as fast as he is.
Which, by the way, I saw a video. Do you know Tyreek Hill is just going to retire when his Miami contract?
Yeah, I did see him say that.
Yeah, thank God.
You see Tyreek Hill got cooked by a camper today?
Did he?
Yeah.
Well done. Anyways, Cam Smith, Tyreek Stevenson. They're both CB2s for their team.
Ceiling CB2s.
Yeah. One team that's interested in Cam Smith won't even look at Tyreek Stevenson. They're completely different players.
Yep.
If you want to press corner, you go Stevenson. If you're fine with off-press zone anticipation guy, go with Cam Smith. They're
scheme fits.
Yeah, they're both scheme fits. They're both talented.
And they're both very good.
Yeah.
Get started. Download the Google Home app on a phone or tablet.
Oh no, Google has found us.
I don't even know where that is. I don't use this office. Except for this. Whatever. Continue.
So remember how I said safety sucked this year?
Yes.
Good news, I found you a safety.
Yay! Except he's a corner.
Yeah. One of the guys that are getting some hype, a lot of hype, is Kansas State's 6'3", 198.
That's where he's the safety.
Yeah. Julius Prince. He's projected to be a second-round pick, mid-second round pick. I have him as a 3. That might go up if the safety draft's as bad as it's supposed to be.
Yeah, there's some problems at safety. There, as of right now, as of the show, as of the recording of this episode, it appears the consensus is that there might only be one in the first round.
Which, by the way, you want to know something funny about that one? I went to check the NFL, like their own rankings. He's listed as a corner.
Oh, yeah, yes, there is some uncertainty regarding. I mean, I don't know, Brian Branch.
Yeah,
there's some uncertainty about Brian Branch's position. Yes, there is some uncertainty about that. If he's a corner, by the way, the safety class is dead, and the corner class just got even better.
Yeah,
because he might be like 6. He'd probably be 6, maybe 5.
So Julius Brents does not inspire me at all at corner. This guy screams average. Like so average. Painfully average.
Is it clear is it clear at this point, audience, that we have not that this is not in order yet?
Yeah, I'll give you the order later. 4.5, 340. You can tell. Don't put him on press. The guy doesn't have the discipline for press at all. In fact, I remember watching him like, what does he do well? He's a zone corner. He can watch the quarterback because he doesn't know how to watch the wide receiver. He doesn't understand it. He can't read it.
Not a clue.
So move him to safety.
Why not?
Yeah, I think all of his talents make so much more sense at safety.
If you need a safety and you're picking in the late 2, this is not a bad choice. You can try him at corner, and then by week 8, when you realize he can't do it, put him at safety.
Let's talk about the people that matter, John. The tier.
We're at the top 7. We're at the top 7.
Let's go. Let's talk about top 7. I actually want to bring up Chris Sims now.
We're in the cornerback tiers of the kingdom.
Yeah. By the way, buy that.
Buy that. Yo, if you are a Zelda fan and you haven't watched that trailer yet, watch that trailer.
Oh my
because
God.
when Teen and I both think something might have been the greatest game trailer of all time, it probably is.
What was I told you? I said after watching the trailer.
You said to me, Ocarina's in trouble of being dethroned.
It's trembling.
You said Ocarina's in trouble of being dethroned. At this point, I think there's going to become like 5 acceptable answers for best Zelda game. Ocarina, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Haven't even played it yet, but it might be on that list. Wind Waker and like Link to the Past. Those are the 5 acceptable answers.
Let's talk about Chris Sims. Top 5. Okay. We're going to give you the full top 5 from the top.
I'll do it.
Let's do it.
You want me to go from 1 to 5?
Yeah, let's do it.
So number 1 on Chris Sims' list is Illinois' Devin Witherspoon. Okay. An interesting decision.
He's in our top 5.
Number 2, well, he's in our top 7. Number 2 is Michigan's DJ Turner, who is also in our top 7. Number 3 for Mr. Sims is the Oregon Ducks' Christian Gonzalez. He's also in our top 7.
Yeah.
And then number 4, Deontay Banks from Maryland, also in our top 7. Finally, at number 5, Keely Ringo from Georgia, also in our top 7. You know what's funny about that?
What?
He's number 7.
Let's talk about Keely Ringo from
Keely Ringo!
Hell of a name.
Best name in the draft.
Yeah.
Love the name.
6'2", 207, so he's got size.
Just so y'all know, these were done kind of in this order as far as watching them. And Ebteen's first note for Keely Ringo was, "Yo, this class is fucking sick."
What's the second note?
Is this a pattern? It appears that it was.
Ringo is not a finished product, but he has all the tools. His mental for like the game is kind of slow, kind of noticeably slow. He's inconsistent at times because of it in coverage. And you can say during the season he was also inconsistent because,
Sure.
I mean, he had just completely average days where you wouldn't even notice Kelee Ringo was on the field.
You know what's funny is this is like the second year in a row where we've had to like overanalyze Georgia a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because last year it was okay, who's actually making that thing work? And we ended up saying we thought Devontae Wyatt was a big reason why last year's Georgia defense worked.
Yeah, how'd that turn out for us?
I mean, our second pick was Jordan Davis, so it turned out okay.
Okay.
But
I think we said it wasn't Jordan Davis because they kept on taking Jordan Davis off.
because Jordan Davis was rotated so much, yeah. We ended up, and then we mainly did that to figure out whether or not Nakobe Dean was a contributor, which the answer to that was yes, but it wasn't at the LB1 level.
Yeah.
Devin Lloyd was our LB1.
I hated Devin Lloyd.
I know you did, but you didn't like any of the linebackers last year, and I only liked the top two.
Mhm.
And I liked Chad Muma. Like, that was it. It was
I
those
remember
three.
liking Chad.
I liked Chad Muma and those other two. That was all I liked.
If you remember from that episode, our page, like our notes page, the title page was just a picture of Chad
The
Moon.
picture of Chad Muma at the combine, doing his combine presser. Yeah, so the funny thing about this year's Georgia team is while there's a little bit less,
Mhm.
it's still a Jalen Carter defense and Nolan Smith and Kelee Ringo. So you still have to be like, okay, well, shit, who's doing what? Where's the fulcrum? I have a guess.
Oh,
It's not
I
Kelee
think
Ringo.
I don't think it was Kelee Ringo.
I believe it's Jalen Carter, but that's a different problem.
What's the biggest issue with Kelee Ringo? His technique is not.
Tech is sloppy.
He's super, super sloppy. If you clean it up, you'll be really happy with the results.
He
Though.
was sick.
Yeah.
This is not the last time we're going to hear this. This guy could benefit from the right coaching fit.
Oh yeah. I think on my notes I literally said, if you clean this up, you have a CB1. Isn't that crazy? How many times have I said you have a CB1 so far in this draft? Ringo's at his best in the zone because he doesn't have any physicality. It's really noticeable. He doesn't play press well at all.
Could you see a team trade up to like 30 to take him?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, because I would take a nickel corner at 30 right now.
And it's a different nickel corner. You are very high on another nickel corner that we're going to discuss.
I think we'll talk about it when we get
We'll
to
get
it.
there.
Yeah. Ringo has great size and speed. He ran a 4.36 at 6'2", 207. Love
Giddy
it.
up.
Yeah. Here's where I have a lot of hope. He's a redshirt sophomore. So I think all he needs is time. So
Developmental.
he's projected a mid 2. I have him as an early 2. If you take him at the end of the first round, I'm not mad about it.
No, it's probably not the best value pick, but that's in the right situation, like a 6 years ago, like Baltimore, for example.
Mhm.
That's a good situation to be in for a corner that needs cooking.
Where does Seattle draft the back of the draft? Like 22, right?
It's a good question. Let me get that real quick. It's a good question. I've got it open right here. Seattle doesn't have a second pick. Oh, yeah, they do. They have 20. Number 20.
That's a little early for this
A
guy.
little early for this pick.
I would take someone else in front of him.
I got one for you.
Okay.
That's Cincinnati. 28.
Listen, like I want to say Cincinnati doesn't develop corners well, but Eli Apple's playing better than he is.
What about the Giants at 25?
I like that. Yeah. I like
Not a
that.
bad fit.
Yeah.
Or Jacksonville at 24. These are like his ceiling areas. What I don't think he's not breaking top 20. It's just this is where you could see maybe a team decides to take that flyer on a developmental corner with incredibly strong trades.
Because let me get this straight. There is a cutoff. Like this is like after this point, you have quality traits in a lot of corners, but Kelee Ringo, you look at and you're like, he's a lot easier to get a CB1 out of. Kelee
Potentially.
Ringo. Yeah. And he needs development, so get the 5th-year option.
He reminds me a little bit of, and this is weird because I think he reminds me a little bit of Lewis Sign in the way we're viewing him,
Mm-mm.
because not the way they play.
I despise Lewis.
No, I know, but he was a mid one, early two. And the way we viewed him was in the right situation, maybe there's something here. I think that a little bit less here. I think Kelee Ringo is going to be good no matter what, but he's going to be great in the right situation.
Where does Minnesota draft?
Who gives a shit?
Because they took
23,
Lewis.
23, right above Jackson.
I could 100% see Minnesota doing this.
23. There was a report, by the way, earlier today that they're trying to move on from Dalvin again.
Yeah. You're going to cut him.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Quit fucking around. Just a running back. Who cares?
I just want to check what Lewis Sign did in the NFL last year. Was he hurt?
I don't know. I didn't hear his name much this year. Lewis Sign.
I mean, he wasn't starting because Harrison Smith and Cameron Bynum were.
Yeah, I don't got much on.
Yeah, Lewis Sign didn't do anything last year. He'll probably play more this year. So jury's still out.
He played 3 games. That's it. That's
He redshirted his first year.
Yeah, he basically did nothing.
All right, let's talk about my 6 rated corner.
Let's do it.
Let's go back
Number
to
6.
Maryland. Deonte Banks, 6 foot 197. Projected late first corner. Yeah, that's right. Now, do you know Deonte Banks? A little bit of him? You know nothing?
I said I know enough.
Oh, okay. This guy uses the sideline as like a blade.
Another defender.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a strangler. He's a strangler. Which, by the way, is a skill in and of itself that is almost a prerequisite to being successful in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to utilize the sideline to your advantage as a defender.
Deonte Banks, if he can watch the ball be thrown, is fantastic. He's amazing. He's got I think when I was watching him, Gonzalez, one of the top corners in this draft. His hips are incredibly smooth.
Yeah,
So
one of Gonzalez's best traits are his hips.
So are Deonte Banks. With this kid is just the fundamentals because he can panic. He can get handsy. Like if he's just facing the wide receiver, he struggles. Like you can lose him easily.
Right.
Or if it's thrown up and like it's a deep pass and he's not watching the ball, he'll get all in there. He'll throw a flag will be thrown.
Right.
But there are traits here, and I think Baltimore should take him.
It smells like a raven.
It smells so much like a raven.
Not even just because it's Maryland. He smells like a raven.
Yeah.
This is so Baltimore. It's such a raven. That's so raven.
That's so raven.
I await my lawsuit in the mail, Disney.
No, they would do it too.
Sure ass.
So Kelly Ringo was Chris Sims' 5th corner. Deonte Banks is Chris Sims' 4th corner.
Now let's go to our top 5.
All right.
Now, I think from here we should do number 4 and number 5.
Okay.
And then we'll go back to the top.
Okay.
So who do you have at number 5?
My favorite corner in this draft.
And team is higher on this player than I am.
Michigan's DJ Turner. Chris Sims also super high on this guy.
He is.
What's the first thing I wrote? Can you read that?
M-Team wrote, I am speed.
Yeah.
But in my vernacular, he fast as fuck, boy.
He's projected as an early 2. Take him in the 1 if you're
4, 2, 6.
Wow.
4, 2, 6. As a potential slot corner?
He's sick, dude. He's just so sick. He's 5'11", 178. He can play outside, which is crazy. But don't because this is Avonte Maddox to me, John.
DJ Turner is very Maddox-esque.
Yeah.
There's one differentiation that I will make, though,
Okay.
because I've watched both. I've watched every game Avonte Maddox ever played.
Mhm.
Avonte Maddox is a special football IQ brain. He legitimately is. And it's why he's so successful, because he does not have any natural gifts that are extremely strong. He doesn't. He's just insanely smart.
Mhm. And it's always been like that. Even when he was a prospect, you would
In
watch.
Pitt, he was always incredibly smart at Pitt.
Yeah.
It was always like, this guy's instincts are sick.
Mhm.
DJ Turner's instincts are good. But I have seen him pick wrong
Mhm.
at a much higher rate than Maddox. Much higher. And mainly because I don't think I've ever seen Maddox pick wrong. I don't think I've ever seen it. But what I will say that Turner has that Maddox doesn't, the speed, the jumping, the height, the strength. I don't think Maddox is as strong as this guy. He's smoother on land. What do I mean by that? I mean that he understands the field positioning a little bit better. He's able to suffocate spots of grass faster than a Maddox would. And that's kind of what you want to do as a slot corner. Plays a little bit feisty, which you need to be as a slot guy. I'd argue Maddox is a little bit more calm and collected in the feisty department. He's smart with his hands. Turner needs to get better with hands against a bigger receiver like a tight end. Again, I'm going to say Travis Kelce.
Mhm.
You have to measure that in the NFL. I understand you may not play Travis Kelce, but that is the top tight end.
Let's talk about tight ends, right? Because let's who are the top 5 tight ends right now? It's Kelce.
In
Mark
no particular
Andrews,
order, Kelce, Andrews,
Kittle?
probably still Kittle.
Kyle Pitts is going to get up there eventually.
Pitts will be up there. Goddard. I know you don't like Hawkinson, but he's in that realm.
Maybe Waller doesn't get injured this year.
Waller, if he's healthy, I'm sure we're forgetting somebody.
And then that's 6 tight ends. Okay. Who's
Yeah.
coming in? Kincaid?
Kincaid,
Notre Dame
Mayer, fucking Darnell. I mean, there's some beasts coming in at tight end.
We're about to have 10 tight ends you need to cover.
Yeah. There's a lot of tight ends they're going to require. I mean, who knows if Cole Kmet is anything? I know his natural gifts are there, but he's got a bad quarterback, we think. I mean, there's options left and right, league wide.
Like Isaiah Likely might actually,
Isaiah Likely on another team would be a TE1. So, yeah, I'm not.
I wouldn't put this guy on tight ends.
Hell, Dalton Schultz, Jake Ferguson showed out last year for Dallas.
And then next year, the Georgia kid's going to come out and be a first round.
Brock Bowers is going to come in and be a top 10 pick. So
tight end is an issue in the NFL now.
You have to plan for it. You have to consider tight ends. And because of that, you have to think about a slot corner.
But
a damn good one.
This guy is scheme. He's not scheme dependent. He's versatile. No. You can play him outside in a pinch. You shouldn't. You should keep him in nickel. You should reap the benefits of having. He's
best suited there.
Like, I'm watching this kid's tape, and I wouldn't be surprised within his first contract we consider him a top 5 nickel corner in the NFL.
It's tough to get paid as a slot guy in the NFL. Like, slot corners don't want this. That was what was so great about Avonte Maddox. Maddox knew I'm a slot guy. Like, he knew it. He wanted to play outside. We tried him there. He wasn't good at it. Straight up. Wasn't good at it. Put him in the slot, best in football. So we got lucky because it was a player with the IQ to know I can't do that. I know I can't do that. I can make my money here. I can make more than enough and be cool with it. The guy literally, funny story about Avonte Maddox, he was roommates with Goddard for their first 3 seasons. Oh. They shared a house and they're best buddies, whatever, played video games every night, did a dinner night with each other. He only moved out. They only moved out of that house when they both got contracts. And that was I think they both got paid within a week of each other. So they've been tight ever since they both got drafted. They were drafted the same year, 2nd and 3rd round. So that's how that goes. By the way, I didn't remember this. And this is the same draft. I saw this pop up the other day. Remember when we traded Sam Bradford to the Vikings?
Yeah.
And we got picked a 1st rounder and a 4th rounder?
Okay.
You know that 4th rounder ended up being?
Who?
Josh Sweat. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was the defensive end you drafted in the first round around that time?
Derek Barnett.
Okay, thank you.
Those two pick. That was that pick too.
Yeah.
Pick 1 was Barnett.
Mhm.
Pick 4, the 4th rounder was Sweaty. Who, if those back in time want to think about it, Sweaty was a 1 to 2.
He was what was his medical?
Oh, the knee was a mess. Yeah, the knee, and by the way, it still is, but he's healthy. So that knee is going any day now. That thing was a disaster, but he's fine.
So we're in our top 5 now.
Let's do it.
We're talking about someone who I think has first round talent.
DJ,
Yeah. Where would you take him?
early 2.
You try to get him early too?
I would try to snake him early too. Again, at the end of the day, it's a slot corner.
Yeah.
Right? I would take a safety early too.
Mhm.
And I kind of put them on the same wavelength. Remember Landon Collins?
Mhm.
Landon Collins. Obviously, everybody thought he was going to be a first round pick because the talent was so extreme. Box safety.
Mhm.
Box safety equals loss of value.
Mhm.
And that's what ended up happening. He fell into the second. The Giants took him first minute of day 2.
Mhm.
That's what I would try to do with this player. Straight up. And
I mean, you have a better chance. There's only 31 first round picks this year.
That's right. And that's the reality of this is that, by the way, I think that's going to play a way bigger role than people think it is.
Okay.
I don't think the fact that there's only 32 ones is being discussed. I'm sorry, 31 ones is being discussed enough. I don't think it's being discussed nearly enough. It throws the whole point matrix out of whack. It throws only 31 players getting first round options, 5th-year options rather than 32. Miami doesn't even get to participate. And they're an up-and-coming young team with a new coach, with a second-year coach, and Tyreek Hill on pitch clock, I guess, considering he wants out at the end of the deal. This is a very important draft, and not enough people are talking about that. That missing pick. That's very important. But yeah, I would try to snake this guy in the second. If I start to get intel, if I'm like, who the hell's picking late that could use a slot guy?
Kansas City.
Kansas City, sure. Yeah. You know what the problem is?
What?
Kansas City has to. Because if they don't, Pittsburgh better fucking do it.
Yeah.
At 32. Yeah. Man. Thanks, Chase Claypool. What a bad trade. What a terrible trade that was.
Let's talk about one kid that I actually think is a little underrated despite being projected to be a first round pick.
This is the only player that I think you have in the top 5 that I don't think I do.
Okay.
I think I have this guy at 6. I think I have Banks higher than him. I may have Ringo over Banks and this guy, honestly.
Oh, I can't see that. I think Banks actually.
Banks scares me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the ability to get to the polish he needs to get, because he does need it.
It's just insane to me how sure I am that Banks is going to Baltimore.
True. But a problem you have with a player we're going to talk about later is a problem I have with this player, except that this player's polish is well below that one.
Oh, so much.
So, like, the other players, like, you'll be like, okay, the polish isn't there. It isn't, but it's still blue chip. Yeah. Whereas this is not blue chip polish at all.
Not at all.
So that's my concern with Deontay. I'll make it a little bit better to make Deontay sound a little bit more like I still like, because I do like the prospect. Talk to me in a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll have a different discussion about Deontay Banks, because that's, I think, how long it's going to take.
Let's talk about Mississippi State, though.
Let's do it.
Emmanuel Forbes.
Say his measurements, and then I'll immediately tell you where I'm at.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem.
Go ahead. Tell me.
6'1".
Yep, that's fine.
166.
What the fuck? You're dying. You will die out there. He's just a boy.
Can you read the first line that I wrote?
Size is the big. Did Mississippi State only play bad quarterbacks, or is Forbes literally the invisible man? I mean, if he turns sideways, he is.
Yeah.
Flat Stanley.
Forbes is a ball hawk.
That's another lawsuit. I don't know who owns that though.
The ball. Remember, like how like the ball never lies is like a thing.
Never lies.
Ball never lies. It's like a thing that transcends every sport. I played volleyball. Ball never lies. The ball's in love with this guy. The ball is ready to settle down. The ball's ready for children. Emmanuel Forbes, the way the ball just finds a way into his hands is stupid, John.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's might be the luckiest player I've ever goddamn seen.
It just appears.
Yeah.
It really does. It just appears.
What else does he have? Oh, he's a playmaker with sick football IQ and play recognition skills.
Yeah.
It's freaky.
Bananas.
Who could see the future? Cam Smith could see the future. This guy also can see the future.
Yeah. Cam Smith sees it a little bit faster.
Oh yeah.
Cam Smith might see it better than I've ever seen.
Faster, yeah.
Cam Smith's play recognition might be the best I've ever seen.
Oh,
it legitimately might be.
He's best at zone. Why? Because he's off the wide receiver and he can see the play.
No. The reason he's best at zone is because if he's in man, he'll be separated.
Yeah.
He'll be split in half in man. This is Kevin Durant, by the way. This is Kevin Durant. For years, my claim to fame as like a really young kid was telling everybody and their grandmother that would listen that Greg Oden was going to bust.
Yeah.
And then the Trailblazers take Kevin Durant. All Kevin Durant needed to do was, quote, eat a goddamn sandwich. That was all I said all the time, was this man is going to be the best player in the NBA shortly. He just needs to eat food. He never did that, but he did become the best player in the NBA for a period of time. I wish he would eat some goddamn food, though. I really wish that for Mr. Forbes, because he plays football.
Yeah, he plays football. He's 166. What's his 40?
4.35.
Yeah. Eat a sandwich. You can lose a couple of seconds.
Yeah. If you're up to 4.4, but you put on, if you're pushing 15 pounds. 15. It's not that much. They got to get you on a regimen fast. You know what this player feels like to me?
What?
Honestly, if you like him in the mid one or late one, even.
Yeah.
Why doesn't New England trade back?
I feel like New England will try to trade back anyways.
This feels like a player for them.
Yeah. This
isn't a bad fit.
Which, by the way, also means I'm going to trade back and take this player.
True.
It's two things.
You shouldn't, by the way.
Player, and the second one is he's speed.
He's fast. No, you're taking the 4.26 because the ghost of Al Davis says so.
Oh, I'm so down.
Yeah. I like this prospect.
Yeah.
I do. I don't like him as much as I like DJ Turner.
Don't get me wrong. I like DJ Turner more than this guy. I just recognize this guy's an outside corner and DJ Turner.
He is. I think Banks and Ringo have more up than this guy. Picks don't translate for me as making a prospect because the Eagles drafted a guy named Rasul Douglas in the third round a number of years ago. It was because of picks. Tons of picks. 6'2", big guy, ran through quicksand, not fast at all. But ball instinct's very, very good. The problem was he was just behind guys. In Green Bay, he figured that out. And now he's actually an NFL corner.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't be happier for him.
Oh, yeah.
But this is kind of the inverse. Ball hawk, numbers show it, keeps up with guys, too damn small. Whereas Rasul was kind of big. It comes down to, do you sacrifice size for speed? As a team, is that something you're willing to do?
I think this guy's going to put up 10 pounds.
Needs to.
Yeah.
Needs to.
And I think he's going to have a great career.
I've shied away the past 2 years since saying that I was worried when the Eagles drafted Devontae Smith because of his weight. I'm not worried about it anymore at all with him because he's taken some pops and he just gets up. The problem is Smith is like 5'11" and 178. This guy's taller and skinnier. It's scary. It's scary. It's a very concerning size. It's not because he's skinny. It's because of how tall he is versus the skinny. It's like with that running back. I forget whose damn name it was. He was just too damn skinny.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I don't remember who it was. Okay, let's go to the top. And apologies for how long this episode's been so far, but we're not that sorry. There's a really, really good crop of corners. Really
I
fucking
haven't got
good.
him seen.
Now you know why safeties aren't in this episode. Our top corner
Mhm.
that we've ever scouted is Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner is not in this draft.
No.
Is he a team?
No, he's
But if you remember last year, listeners, we also didn't mind Derek Stingley. In fact, we had him as our 2. Injuries were concerning. Every corner in this top 3 is better than Derek Stingley. Last year. Not now, considering, first of all, Stingley taken at 3, historians will have to study that one day. And I don't feel bad.
such a Houston Texan pick.
It's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
By the way, while we're on the Houston Texans, there's a lot of smoke right now. They're not going quarterback. Look me in the eyes and tell me you want Davis Mills for another year.
No.
Look me in the eyes, Houston.
Trade 2. That's what I think is what they should do. They should trade the pick. They should trade 2. What they shouldn't do is take Anderson, but they should trade 2. If they're not going to go QB, that's fine. I understand not going QB. If you don't like the guy, you don't like the guy.
Damn, Lovie Smith really ruined you, didn't he?
Trade out.
Yeah.
Trade the fuck out. Our number 1 corner this year is not Sauce Gardner.
No.
In fact, not far from it, but he's not Sauce Gardner. That don't mean he's not elite. Christian Gonzalez, University of Oregon. We got a duck at the top of the list, and a damn good one. A damn good one. Potentially, I'm not willing to make this claim yet. Ebteen is. Ebteen, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the claim you made earlier today is Christian Gonzalez is the 2nd best corner we've ever scouted.
Yeah.
I've seen nothing on tape to refute that claim.
I'm just trying to think, who are the corners we scouted? I'm trying to remember.
It's been a couple of years. It's
been a
I mean,
while.
we've been doing this on the show for only 3 years,
Yeah.
but we've been doing it we liked Jalen.
Let me look up the
We really liked Ramsey. You and I saw through the weeds on CJ Henderson, and we were like, this is a problem.
I'm just gonna look up 2020. Who was the first corner taken?
I think
It was Akuda.
Akuda.
I
Yeah,
like
we were
this
actually
one.
wrong. We were wrong on him.
Yeah,
We were very wrong on Jeff Akuda.
it was Akuda, then Henderson.
Yeah, I did not. I didn't like CJ. We liked AJ.
We did like AJ.
We did like AJ, and sure enough, he's the best corner of the class.
Yeah, and the fourth corner is
So far.
Damon Arnett. Let's keep going.
The 3rd round pick that went at 19?
Let's keep going, John. Let's keep
Was
going.
it 19?
I think so. 2019 corners. Let me see this 2019 corners.
Yeah, I mean, we've known each other.
Byron Murphy,
I didn't love Murphy.
Rudy Williams. Nah.
I liked Greedy more than you did.
DeAndre Baker.
No, absolutely not. No, I didn't like Baker's tape at all. Let alone the fact that he's now out of the league.
Rock Ya-Sin was 2019.
I liked Rock Ya-Sin a lot. I think I liked Rock Ya-Sin more than you did at the time.
So Gonzalez is better than all of these.
He's
It's
better than everybody we're naming.
2018's Denzel Ward, Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander is sick.
Ward. So here's the thing. We both thought Ward was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You and I had we didn't have a show back then, but we both had Alexander as 1.
Yeah.
And he wasn't your 1 until I was like, you need to watch this motherfucker at Louisville. And I showed it to her and like, what the fuck? I'm like, it's insane. I think I still like Jair more than I like this prospect. I really loved Jair Alexander that year. Gonzo might be my 3rd favorite.
Josh Jackson was that year. I remember really liking Josh
I
Jackson.
didn't love Jackson that much.
Isaiah Oliver, I remember liking. Mike Hughes.
Nobody liked Isaiah Oliver as much as PFF did.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers this, but PFF did 2 mock drafts where Isaiah Oliver was the number 1 pick, and another where Maurice Hurst was the number 1 pick.
Oh my God, John, 2017 is a bloodbath.
What?
2017 corners include Marshawn Lattimore.
He's all right. I didn't have him over Christian.
Tre'Davious White.
I have him over. I like White more in the NFL than I liked him before.
Yeah. Marlon Humphrey.
I called him a bust.
Yeah.
If you remember, I walked into your apartment that day and was like, I think I watched it just pro rata and just came in. I was like, I think Marlon Humphrey's a bust. You're like, why? I was like, because Mike Williams ate his lunch.
Now here are the Florida twins, Jalen Tabor and Quincy Wilson.
I loved Tease Tabor. I can't pretend like I didn't. I loved Tease Tabor.
Adoree Jackson we didn't like. Kevin
I hated Adoree.
Liked more than Adoree Jackson.
Who?
This is also the draft that includes Gary and Conley. Another Raider.
Pass.
2016. Vernon Hargraves. No.
I was wrong on him too. I thought he was good. Jalen Ramsey's in that draft.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's number 4 or 5.
No.
2016.
I think Ramsey was 2015.
Whatever was 2016 Carson Wentz? Because he's in Carson's draft.
Yeah, you're right. He is 2016.
Yeah.
So Christian Gonzalez is either the second or third best corner we've scouted.
He's among them. We really liked Jair.
What's the issue with him? He can't shed blocks.
I have a different problem with him.
Okay.
There is a corner in this top 3.
We should talk about them both at the same time.
Well, we're going to talk about kind of all 3 of them right now.
Okay, let's do that.
But there is a corner in this draft with absolutely godlike instincts in this top 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean potentially the best instinct football I've ever seen out of any position, not at a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Devin Witherspoon. And he absolutely beats Gonzalez in the instinct battle. It's not close. It's not that Gonzalez's are bad instincts. It's that Witherspoon's instincts are always right. And I mean always. The only times he gets beat is when he physically can't not get beat. Otherwise, he wins the one-on-one every single fucking time. It's absurd. And we'll talk about Witherspoon because I'm just going to say the number right now. Gonzo is our number 1. Emteen has Joey Porter at 2 and Witherspoon at 3. I couldn't agree less. Witherspoon is 2. Porter is 3. That's mine, and his is his. And it's fine. It's not close for either of us. I don't care. And this is overlooked in our scouting here, I think, Emteen, because you know how hard it is for me to admit that a Penn State player is not as good as I think as he should be.
Okay, but also
Joey Porter's really good. Devin Witherspoon has got something.
Okay, but also let's be
that I'm actually terrified of.
Let's be very clear. These 3 men are all top 15 picks for us.
They're all bananas players. Like all 3 of them would be CB1 in other drafts.
That doesn't include Sauce Gardner.
That doesn't include Sauce Gardner. Every other draft we've done, they'd be CB1. They would probably be 2 to Jalen Ramsey and maybe 2 to our scouting of Jair. But that year, I don't know where the fuck they would go. They could be 1, they could be 3. But they would all be in that same spot. The separator in between all people want to bloviate and say Christian Gonzalez is far and away the best corner in this draft. Yeah,
he's a different player.
He's a better player. He's a different player than Witherspoon.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Oh, no. I am fully in agreement that Christian Gonzalez is the best corner in this draft. No question about that. But I will not stand by and pretend like Devin Witherspoon's ceiling isn't higher. I'm not going to pretend that's not true because it's blatantly obvious. I don't care that he's 5'11 and a half. First of all, that's not small. Second of all, the fact that the instincts are that good and he's 20 is stupid to me. The kid is so smart as a player. I put that disclaimer in there because I know what a team's retort is going to be. I can't help but put him up here. These are all tier 1 players. I don't know what Chris Sims is doing ignoring Joey Porter's kid. I just don't get it. Because Joey Porter's going to kill him.
It felt personal.
It was. I took that personally. Joey Porter Jr., let's talk about him quickly because I think that the general consensus among everybody is that 1 and 2 are Gonzo and Witherspoon. That seems to be the consensus.
Mhm.
I agree with you that it's closer than the consensus. I will agree with you on that for sure. Porter belongs in this conversation with them.
I feel like Porter is the bridge between them.
What
Like
do you
quite
mean?
literally.
Well, go
Like-
ahead. Talk. So you should say this on mic because this is where the bulk of the conversation of tonight has to come here.
Okay.
I know this episode's been long as hell already, but this deserves dissecting.
What is Gonzalez to you? Gonzalez is
Stable,
he's consistent.
consistent.
He has his technique down.
You absolutely know the player you're getting with drafting Christian Gonzalez. No question.
He's almost graceful, John. Graceful.
Yeah, he's not the perfect prospect, but the bust likelihood appears to be very low.
Oh yeah.
Now, I will say, as a disclaimer, because I don't want to get memed for that years from now, you know who else was considered bust-proof at the time of their draft?
The Seattle linebacker.
No, a different guy.
Okay.
Him too. But Justin Gilbert. And he stunk.
Okay,
So-
but he went to the Browns. It's not his fault.
he did, but he sucked. He was
Who else,
horrible.
who else did the Browns draft that year, John?
Johnny Manziel!
Yeah. Joey Porter's 6'2", 193.
Yep.
He needs work. His hips, like Witherspoon, are tight. But he's also a press man corner and a good one.
Wait, am I wrong on that, actually? Was Justin Gilbert the Brandon Whedon draft? Either way, it was.
No, Gilbert was Manziel.
I'm like almost 100% sure you're right, but I want to make sure I'm right because I don't want to sound like a dick. I mean, I already sound like a dick, but I don't want to sound like an incorrect dick. Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney. Yes. Yeah, okay. Yes, it was Johnny Manziel. Okay, continue.
In my opinion, Porter is more physical than Gonzalez, but also has better technique than Witherspoon. You know what I mean? Like it's like I feel like he's the middle between the two of them. He's more balanced than either of the two of them. I think he has a hell of a lot of potential. I think the kid hasn't even had a chance in college to reach it because he's a redshirt junior. And of course, he's got the NFL bloodline. It's just right now, if I took the player right now and they wouldn't develop, Witherspoon's better. This is my shot, basically. That
Say it
this
again.
kid, in my opinion, right now, Witherspoon's a better player than Porter.
Agreed.
But this is my shot.
Go ahead.
Porter will be better. Porter,
Okay.
I think Porter will be better than Witherspoon, and if he lands in the right spot, I think he'll be better than Christian Gonzalez.
Interesting take. A respectable take. Here's mine.
Okay.
Here's mine. Joey Porter Jr. is closer to 6'3" than 6'2".
Mhm.
Joey Porter Jr. has shown at times to struggle with that frame, to not know how to use the body he's been given. Joey Porter Jr. is pushing 200. Joey Porter Jr. is definitely a smart football player.
Well, you have to be.
Instincts are good.
Yeah.
Of course. Instincts are good. I watched him play a lot of Penn State ball. There's a player here. Is a damn good player here. He occasionally will get lost in the shuffle. Occasionally. It's not often. He is more press than otherwise, which, by the way, is my main knock on Gonzo, is I think he's pure press.
Mhm.
I think pure press generally has trouble at the next level. I think his talent is he can elude that problem. I think he's so talented that I think that's not really going to be much of an issue. Because again, all three of these dudes, sick football IQs. Here's the problem, though. We've got an S tier football IQ in these top three. And he's the guy coming out of Illinois. And we'll talk again. We're gonna. I know you have more that you are going to want to say about Witherspoon, and you should say it. And it's fair. It's fair points. Just because I don't agree with them doesn't mean they're not fair. I agree with you fully. I think Witherspoon's the better product between the two of them right now, not including Gonzalez. I think Gonzalez is the best product right now. No question. And again, you wrote it here for Joey Porter's notes. I think you're dead on. Gonzalez is definitely the surest thing of the three. I would be surprised if Gonzalez busted. Truly, I would be. If Porter or Witherspoon bust, I'm first going to look at the coaching situation. And if that checks out, then I'll be like, okay, we missed. They are what they are.
I think with Porter, more so than the other two, in his rookie year, will need more scheme help.
Sure.
Protection.
Sure.
But I also think this kid's developing. He's played 2 years at most, right? Because redshirt. Just give the kid time.
Let's talk about Devin.
Talk about Devin.
What are your problems with Devin Witherspoon?
Devin Witherspoon has the potential to be a humongous flag magnet. And it was not called enough in college. I'm watching tape. This man, so many defensive holdings, John. Plenty of pass interferences. Like, Devin Witherspoon is handsy.
Very.
So handsy.
He is very physical.
And I think it will be called a lot more in the NFL. That aside, that's a technique problem that's fixable with coaching. You and I both know this guy's costing his team a game. One of these games. He's going to cost his team a game.
He's going to cost him a drive.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to cost somebody a drive.
I feel it in my bones. This kid, the end of the season, 1 year, is going to draw a taunting flag. And it's going to cost his team the game. I know it's going to happen.
He chirps. I can't ignore that.
It's not even the chirping part. I think the chirping part's fine. You can chirp as much as you want. You cannot stand over the guy and literally look down and chirp on him right next to the referee. And he does it every single game. It's textbook. It's textbook.
I would love to know how he's interviewing.
Oh,
truly.
Yeah.
I would love to know. Because honestly, as you and I have been talking about this all day, I know this is a sticking point for you. Let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have him over Porter with clean interviews?
I would have him over Porter if his hands were cleaner. That's it. I don't even care about
his hands were cleaner. Oh, if he were cleaner with the hand fighting.
Yeah, because at the top of the corner, the guy grabs and pulls every single.
The hand. He does. He pulls. There's no doubt about that. He absolutely pulls.
In fact, I think I even have it written down. Devin Witherspoon is the most physical corner I have seen in a long time.
He is.
I literally wrote, if his hands weren't such a concern for me in the NFL, I would be positively thrilled. That is literally this is what's sticking out to me. I can move past the taunting flag that's going to cost my team a drive or a game. Because the talent here is remarkable.
The talent here is so extreme.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say something stupid.
Okay.
That's going to sound like a motherfucker.
Okay.
You know what this reminds me as far as like a player, the way I feel about a player?
Okay.
It feels the way I felt about Micah Parsons.
Okay.
Where, if you recall, there were random flags that ended up kind of being BS.
They were just looking for.
They were looking for reasons to not like him.
I'm kind of certain that was just like
Well,
Cowboys putting like defense.
I
out
agree
there.
with you. I agree with you. But operating on a theory where it was real.
Mhm.
This kid's gifts are so extremely high, like they're so absurd that if you told me that 2 years from now this is the best corner in the NFL, I would first ask what the fuck happened to Sauce, and then the second thing I would ask is no more questions, because it wouldn't shock me. I'm not
Let's
saying
get into the positives because we're saying platitudes with Devin.
we're absolutely you're saying platitudes. This is it's a draft analysis episode. It's all fucking platitudes.
Okay. What does Devin Witherspoon do so well? He's the slowest of the three.
Fucking everything.
He's the slowest of the three. That's his biggest issue.
What's he run though?
A 4.5.
Oh no.
And if the wide receiver beats him, he's beat. Like Tyreek Hill could probably kill this guy. Yeah.
Sure.
He plays the side.
Today he could.
Yeah. He plays the sideline better than any corner in this draft. He is
No doubt.
He is a killer at the side. If he gets you to the sideline, he has inside position. He's inside position.
If he gets you to the sideline, that's a turnover.
Yeah.
I'm just straight up. If he gets you to the sideline, it's first down going the other way.
Mhm.
Don't let him do it. Don't let him do it because he funnels you in. It's so weird, but it works effectively almost every single time. If he starts to funnel you in and you can't outrun him through the gap between him and the sideline, you're done. You're done. You lost the 1-to-1. You better hope your quarterback didn't throw it.
His run support's okay, not great.
His tackling's superior, though.
His tackling's good. The routes he picks, he frequently can overrun them.
He occasionally will overrun.
It was most noticeable in the Michigan game, not as noticeable in any other game.
Google's talking again, and I don't know why.
Who is?
Google was talking again. My stupid
Does noticeable sound like Google?
fuck knows.
Anyways,
It can't hear you.
how do you beat this guy? You get him to turn his hips. If you cut inside,
No question his biggest
cross the
weakness.
field. If you cross the field, you will have a step on him for sure.
No question his biggest weakness is his hips. No doubt.
But top 15 player.
Yeah.
Easy.
It's not even just that he can stop you. And not even just that he will stop you. It's that it is the only goddamn thing he wants. He wants so badly to end you. Like, that's just, as far as players that want it fucking bad,
Mhm.
this is the best. This is the S tier player of this draft. As far as players that fucking want it, you can tell he wants it.
Also,
He could be what?
I forgot to mention
Go ahead.
because we will talk about his running mates.
Sure.
All three Illinois corners are going in at latest day too. You see that?
Yeah.
The DBs, all three of them. We're talking about the other two as safeties.
Yes.
Um,
But this is the fulcrum. There's no. It's very last year with Georgia. I was like, oh, who is it? Who is it? This year with Georgia, who is it? This year with Illinois, Devin. It's so clearly Devin.
I'm pretty sure he was the captain also.
I believe so.
Yeah.
By the way,
Okay.
as you know, a huge plus for me. That's big for me.
Although I think all of these three were captain.
I believe they may have been. I don't remember, but I believe reading the Devin was.
Joey Porter is the one I'm the least sure about.
That's fine.
Yeah, whatever. As a captain, we're splitting hairs. Take one of them.
You know what? If you need two corners, trade back up and get the other one. This is so sick, these three.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm not going to sit here and pretend. The reason Christian is so clear the one on my end, and it could be different for you, but for on my end, it's because I think if Christian goes to any of the 32 teams in the NFL, I think he's going to be a damn good player. There's like 10 teams Devin could go to where I think he could wash out.
Yeah.
There's like 10 teams where if he goes there, it won't work.
And they're picking.
Vegas being one of them, by the way.
They're picking in the area. Like
Yeah.
let's go to the top 15 of the draft.
Sure. So I don't think he would do well as a Raider.
I don't think he'll do well as a Raider either.
Now, I will tell you there's a team in the top 10 that I kind of hope he goes to.
Seattle.
Chicago.
Really? I prefer Seattle.
Imagine him playing with Eddie fucking Jackson. Jesus H. Christ.
Okay.
That would be fucking ridiculous. Him, Eddie Jackson, and just absolutely bananas on the back end. You'd cut off half the field. You can't throw over there. Never. Don't do it.
Seattle is definitely a team that could trade back.
Tennessee would be a washout.
Tennessee's not.
I think Tennessee at 11 would kill him.
Houston's not doing it again. Could you imagine? Do the Jets need a second corner? Could you imagine?
I forgot about the Jets. Draft him.
Could you imagine?
Draft one of these guys to be CB2. I fucking dare you. Do it. Why not? You know what? Do it.
Robert Saleh, man.
Do it.
Do it.
That would be absurd. Devin Witherspoon, we must see TV like that.
I think Witherspoon, like the thing I like about Gonzalez so much, for me, he really is the put on an island player.
I like Witherspoon at 14 too.
Okay.
To New England?
No.
Why not?
It feels like New England's losing their touch.
They'll keep him down.
Plus, it's Patricia. I don't want another corner. I don't want another corner.
Patricia laughed. Patricia laughed.
Did he?
Yes.
Okay, good. I don't want another corner to get Patricia to like.
I don't think Patricia worked. Oh, he's a senior football advisor for them now. He's not their DC though.
Who's their DC? Is it the kid?
It might be the kid. I don't know.
Anyways,
maybe not New England.
Yeah, maybe not New England.
Patricia is still associated, so maybe not New England.
Green Bay put one on the other side of Jair. I mean, you're rebuilding the offense anyways.
That's the beauty of this team. I mean, there's so many good teams up here with quality. Arizona won't do it at 3, but there's
Arizona.
So many...
Arizona's moving back. Let's be honest.
Well, that's the news, by the way. Buda Baker wants a trade.
Yeah, you should give it to him.
I want him. Green Bay, Washington could use a corner. Pittsburgh, imagine Devin playing for next to Minka or Mike Tomlin. That kid will never shut the fuck up as long as he plays. He will chirp. He will chirp until you go deaf.
Let me make like one final statement about the class in whole.
Go ahead.
This class is supplying the next generation of starting corners.
No question.
On every team.
No doubt about it. They're supplying half of this league with the starting corner.
Yeah.
And they're all going to get paid one of these days. Most of them.
Some of them are going to get paid like AJ Bowie when he went to AJ Boye, right? Yeah.
Boye.
Someone's going to get Artie Burns.
Someone's going to get Artie Burns. Former first-round pick Artie Burns. Pittsburgh. Artie Burns.
No wonder they still need a corner.
That is a name, man. Golly. Artie fucking Burns. Poor Artie Burns. So anyway, there's your corners.
What a draft.
There's your corners. This is a sick crop at the top 3, crazy at the top 5, and utterly absurd through the top 16.
The more we look at this draft, the more I think picking in the back half is gonna be sick.
I honestly think if you're picking between 10 and 16, you are gonna feast. Because there's gonna be at least 3 QBs that go in the top 6.
Mm-hmm. There's gonna be 4, let's be honest with ourselves.
It's probably gonna be 4, but something smells like they're sliding. I don't know which one, but somebody smelled like they're sliding, probably Will Levis. And I just look at this crop in the middle. Jalen Carter might fall to 10. Peter Skoronsky.
Jalen Carter's
Peter
not
Skor-
tall.
He could. Peter Skoronsky may end up in spot fucking 15, which I think is a mistake. Both CBs could go, both Witherspoon and Gonzo can go in the top 10. This is absurd. I'm starting to see mocks where Gonzalez is going 4. Like, this is, I swear. I saw him at 3 once. Do it. It's what this is going to be such an entertaining draft. I'm not hearing much trade chatter at all. And I don't care.
Oh, it's all going to happen draft night.
No, draft night's going to be a nightmare.
Buckle down.
Buckle the fuck off. Because tie yourself to a rock. The trade winds are going to blow fierce. This is going to be a bananas draft. I'm so thrilled. I was a little bit lackadaisical about this draft until the past 2 weeks. After watching tight ends, running backs as well, that invigorated me. And this cornerback class, oh dear God!
There's a legitimate chance, ignoring safety, that wide receiver is the worst class.
Yeah.
And let's not even forget, because I hate the wide receivers in this draft. They're gonna go. There's a couple that are gonna go.
There's 4 that are going in the first round. Probably 4. One of which we don't think is draftable. No, Zay Flowers is of course draftable.
Yeah, you should have drafted Sky Moore. Say,
you should have gone back in time and drafted Sky Moore or Khalil Shakir.
who the fuck let Kansas City take Sky Moore in the second just so you could take Zay Flowers in the first? Ask yourself that goddamn question.
Yeah, Quentin Johnston, WR1.
If I take Zay Flowers,
You probably are.
if I take Zay Flowers, I'm not coming to the next episode.
Yes, you are.
I will
say
come.
that every week.
No, John. If I take Zay Flowers, I'm not talking in the next episode. I'm on quiet strike.
Well, the next episode after that is immediately after the first round. So
I know. I will be on quiet strike.
you will not.
We will talk about the Raiders, and I'll just be sitting here like,
Next episode is what is it? Linebacker safeties. I don't need a representation of this. I'm trying to close the fucking episode, you dork. Safeties and linebackers are next.
yeah.
Here's the schedule, ladies and gentlemen. We got about 2 weeks, a little bit less than 2 weeks. We've got
4 episodes.
five or 4.
We got 4 episodes.
5.
Oh, 5, yeah.
5. We're going to give you safeties and linebackers soon. Like a day or 2 after this comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive line is coming right behind it. Then we'll give you your quarterback episode. We know everybody loves a good quarterback episode.
I've been looking forward to it.
This is going to be a fun episode this year. Especially because last year we had 1 first-round quarterback and then nobody went in the second.
And I didn't even want to put a first-round grade on the quarterback that won the first round.
No, I did. He was the only one I wanted, number 1. And then I looked at Matt Corral. I'm like, okay, he's good too.
Yeah, I was like,
He's also never
third
gonna
round.
play. He's never going to play.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
So
still doing better than all the others by not playing. Malik Willis. Malik. Tennessee's drafting a quarterback.
yeah, man.
How is Desmond Ridder the safest of the ones after Kenny Pickett?
Well, Brock Purdy.
We love
with the Tommy John elbow.
By the way, oh god, I'm disappointed because my Brock Purdy this year is apparently a day 2 pick.
Oh, Dorian. Yeah, there's been some weird mock drafts where Dorian from UCLA has gone in like between 2 and 4.
Yeah,
which seems high.
I was holding on to him, guys.
Yeah, it seems high to me.
Let's not.
So anyway, that's the schedule. We got DBs. We got safeties and linebackers next, then D line, then QBs. Then we have a little bit of fun, take our foot off the gas, and we do our own little draft. It's what we feel like we would take in that moment. Trades are allowed. Hypothetical trades. We'll go based off of just general theory. Basically, it's just going to be yes or no on trades, not like, oh, here's what you'll give me. It'll be yes or no's. And, if it makes sense. And then after that, predictive mock, what we're hearing, what we think is going to happen. And that'll take us all the way to the first round on Thursday, 2 Thursdays from now. And then right after that episode, right after the first round happens, we'll immediately record our next episode, our first round reaction video.
Yes, you will.
And then shut up. And then when the draft in its totality ends, we will have for you the final draft recap.
Yeah.
Generally a long episode. Our apologies. Not really. And then
we'll have a break.
probably take a break
Yeah.
after that. Take a little bit of time off.
Maybe we'll talk to Superman and see what he wants to do for Christmas. The return of Henry Cavill.
I'm still licking my wounds from the last time. I'm still cleaning my house of all the gas. Cleaning my house from all of the toxic chemical warfare I fired.
Who do we want to fight next? Ben Affleck? It'll be a lot shorter this time.
Much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Number 1, his contract. Just give me his contract.
Number
He doesn't
2,
want to go anywhere near.
Lopez.
Lopez. Yeah.
With the first
Number 3, public settings.
with the first pick, I take Gigi.
Guys, that's the episode. Sorry it went long. Not that sorry. We'll talk to you next time. Yeah, I got nothing else.
Bye-bye.
Bye.